The Vedic civilization is the civilization of the people who composed the Vedas. The most remarkable feature of the Vedic civilization is their literature. Such an ancient, rich and diverse literature is rarely found anywhere else. People belonging to the Vedic period composed beautiful verses in Sanskrit since the earliest times. Their first composition was the Rig Veda. Later, the other three Vedas, the Yajur Veda, the Samaveda and the Atharva Veda were composed. Each verse of the Vedas is known as a Richa. The Brahmanas, the Aranyakas and the Upanishads were composed during the subsequent period. Let us begin with the first composition, Rig Veda. The Rig Veda consists of verses composed in praise of various forces in nature looked upon as deities. The verses contain very poetic descriptions of nature. Second is Yajur Veda. The Yajur Veda contains information about yagna. It includes the mantras used in yagnas and also their explanation in prose. Third is Samaveda. The Samaveda provides guidance on the singing of the Rigvedic verses to a set rhythm and tune. It is considered to be the foundation of Indian music. Fourth is Atharva Veda. The Atharva Veda is different in nature as compared to the other three Vedas. Along with philosophy, it includes solutions to problems and difficulties in day-to-day life. It also gives information on medicinal herbs. Fifth is Brahmanas. The Brahmanas were composed to explain the use of Vedas in rituals. Sixth is Aranyakas. Aranyakas are works composed in aranyas or forests. There is an old Indian tradition of leaving behind routine life and going deep into the forest to meditate. It originates from the sages who composed the Aranyakas. And last is Upanishads. The term Upanishad indicates knowledge acquired by sitting at the feet of the teacher. Such knowledge as the disciples acquired from their gurus is included in the Upanishads. Profound questions such as the creation of the universe, the nature of God, etc. are discussed in them. We learn about the Vedic philosophy through this literature. It also throws light on the social life of the Vedic people. Let us study about their economic life. Agriculture was the main occupation of the people living in the Ganga-Yamuna basin during the Vedic period. Farmers gave a sixth part of their produce to the king by way of tax. Agricultural techniques improved in the later period. Oxen were now yoked together to plough the fields. Farmers usually raised one or two crops. They included barley, wheat, cotton and mustard. As agricultural production increased, trade too developed. The barter system was commonly used in trade. The weights in use were krishnal, mana, shatamana, etc. Next is their occupation. Use of iron increased during this period. Many iron tools and weapons came to be used, leading to an increase in agricultural and other production. Artisans like chariot makers, carpenters, potters were the backbone of the economic and social life of India. It was at about this time that skilled artisans belonging to each occupation came together to form their shrenis or guilds. Now coming to their political system. The king was the head of the state. His main duties were protecting his subjects, collecting taxes, and smoothly running the state administration. During the Vedic period, there were two organs, the Sabha and the Samiti, to keep the king under control. The Sabha consisted of senior citizens in the state, while the Samiti was a general body of the people. There were various officers to help the king run the state administration smoothly. The Gramini was the head of a village. The Gramvadi administered justice with the help of the Gramini. A group of villages formed a Vish, and its head was called Vishpati. The Purohit or the priest and the Senapati or the commander-in-chief were important officers. The army consisted of infantry as well as charioteers. The money required for managing the affairs of the state was collected in the form of taxes. The officer who collected taxes was called Bhagdug.